I was thinking about Batman, as one often does when great ideas come. And I realized that in the same way that Batman's personality is underdeveloped in areas that have to do with anything other than being Batman, like in a sense, he thinks of himself as Batman. I also have an underdeveloped personality in areas that don't have to do with fixing sleep issues. And I'm going to be really specific about what sleep issues means, because a lot of people do not understand. I didn't understand for the longest time what sleep issues actually were. Sleep is metabolism, which is breathing. The sine wave of awake and asleep mimics the blood oxygen variations present in inhalation and exhalation, which are micro and macrocosms of metabolism itself. Yeah. So, and metabolism itself really comes down to man's own ability to set and achieve goals. Metabolism, which is fundamentally our existence as the image of God. So in a real sense, and I'm not being narcissistic or not humble about this is just what it is, and you can watch all my videos if you want to see me painfully, oh my God, the mental breakdowns I have on camera. You can watch them. You want to watch me come to this conclusion? I don't come to it lightly. I really don't. So you can watch me come to this conclusion over the course of my channel. So essentially, I'm just stuck as a mystic. So I carry a stick around. But I did that before, but now there's a new layer of meaning to it. I'm stuck as a mystic. I am stuck as someone who is permanently contemplating man's nature as a creative mind that sets it and achieves goals within the sine wave of awake, asleep, day, night, yin, yang. You know, those great Taijito images. This bug in my face, I do not like it. No, I do not like it. So, and essentially the reason for that is that I have had sleep issues as long as I can remember. I have never not had sleep issues, and they only got worse. So my entire experience of life is just completely colored by inconsistent sleep. The only consistent thing is this theme of needing to fix my sleep and dealing with variability in sleep, which is variation in the metabolic engine that is mankind, which has to do, and the reason it's mystical is because, and how could it not be? In order to, okay, like, here's a very basic phenomenon. When you feel like you're winning in life, your brain produces more dopamine, and you will not be depressed. Your body will produce more testosterone. You see this in chimpanzees. You take a chimpanzee that was a beta chimp, and that chimpanzee becomes the alpha chimp. And there's many ways that this can happen, but when you see it happen, the chimpanzee's biochemistry changes. So when I am not sleeping, my biochemistry changes. I become depressed. In order for me to get out of that, part of what I have to do is I have to change this inertia. I have to make and achieve goals. I have to have a story behind how I see myself. I have to have a narrative. I have to have a linguistic structure, a cultural structure. You see where, in order to activate the winner effect that increases the brain metabolism necessary to regain the ability to sleep, something very simple, I am already dealing with mythology. I'm already in the realm of mythology. The sleep conference was very receptive to this idea. I went to the sleep conference recently, and I'll make a video on that. The sleep conference is very receptive to this idea. I mean, they were actually people there studying that, because it's just the way it is. You know, like, other people have noticed that, not just me. It's cool. So I'm just stuck as a mystic. I'm just stuck contemplating the myth of the culture that I am participating in, because I need to have a story that makes sense to my brain, or I will develop crippling depression that will lead to insomnia. I'm not asking you to understand that. I don't expect you to understand that. But essentially, in order to even have the motivation necessary to take the actions necessary to beat insomnia, I must have a story that is not depressing by definition. You could understand that. Like, there's just actions I need to take to recover. To take those actions in the timely manner necessary for recovery to be successful requires a narrative that is motivating. That's like the essence of a non-controversial statement. So essentially, I am stuck within that framework. And within that framework, I and Batman are living weapons. This is what I have realized, that I am a living weapon. Fundamentally, that is what I am. I am a living weapon meant to defeat insomnia. That is what in me is developed. The other parts of my personality aren't really developed because I just don't. The longest, I've never even had like a year of like normal sleep in my entire life, ever. So when I finally achieve that goal of a year of like perfect sleep, which is something that other people experienced as foundational to the development of their psyches, I will experience what others experience as foundational as the spoils of a 28-year-long war. I'm 27. So, really think about this. Like, when I experience what others they don't even consider it the baseline for their psyche because it's always there. It's like a fish in water. When I experience a year of normal sleep for the first time, I will experience that year and all subsequent years as the affirmation that my invisible lifelong war has been to this point a success. Like, I don't know. Like, I really, I'm just realizing this because, like, whenever I'm thinking about beating insomnia, like beating global insomnia, beating my own struggles with insomnia, things make sense because that's what I've been doing my whole life. When I start thinking about what else I'm doing, I'm 27, I got maybe a year or two of practice of working on anything else. Everything else is just insomnia. It's because there's never been a point in my life where I've been having normal sleep. So even my experiences growing up were colored by like, I just feel different from everyone else because they can all sleep and I can't. That's so weird. Like, other people just go to sleep and I can't go to sleep. And they can go to sleep and I can't go to sleep. That's so weird. And then that turns into, holy cow, I'm going to die. And they're not going to die. And the doctors don't think I'm telling the truth. And I'm pooping and peeing blood, but they're not listening to me. And I don't want to be institutionalized because I know that soy is causing this in some capacity. And they definitely feed me soybean oil against my will, which would kill me. So I'm just going to keep on working on this. And like, this is my life. And I've realized, like, I crap on hobbits a lot in previous videos. I just really don't like the idea of hobbits because it's like, there is no Shire for me, Sam. I'm like, there never was a Shire for me. There just wasn't a Shire. I never experienced that. just, I had a great childhood. Like, I had a great childhood. Gotta say, I had a great childhood, but I just never experienced that, like I just feel like my entire existence is a war, or my entire, no, not even that. That would be easier to deal with, because then the war could end. My entire existence is the progressive realization that I have been involved in a war that has involved my entire life and extends far beyond my birth and far after my death. Like, that's all I'm realizing. And I'm realizing more and more, like, it's just this, the inertia of that realization has already hatched into the only understanding of my own behavior that's ever made sense to me. And that's the God's honest truth. And I think that that's what it means to be a living weapon. I think that that's where I understand Batman. I understand Bruce Wayne, though his Batman personality is primary. I'm definitely Devin Young, but Devin Young is a living weapon meant to defeat insomnia. That's like primarily the lens through which I must understand the world, because I can't understand my actions without that, because my actions are simply a lifetime of the progressive realization that I will only live if I kill the insomnia demon. So therefore, I must hold to that revelation, because if I don't hold to that revelation, then I have no lens through which to understand the development of who I am. Because I'm like, well, why did I do these things? Why do I continue to do these things? And it only makes sense if I think about the fact that, like the single greatest variable in my life, more so than like anything else, I think if you want to understand my behavior, is, I mean, I think my parents are huge variables too, but there's this massive variable of insomnia. It's just this, and it's in every area of my life, and there's never been a point where I wasn't suffering from this. And so, therefore, I am simply a living, not simply, but I am a living weapon meant to defeat insomnia. I understand Batman in that sense, because he's simply, like, you think like Batman Hush, and like why he struggles so much to relate to the world as Bruce Wayne and not just as Batman. And like why the Batman identity for him is primary always. And I'm like, well, anytime I start thinking of myself not as someone who is meant by God to defeat insomnia, I stop understanding myself, and I become very confused, become irritable. Like I basically just kind of fuck up until the pain becomes too much, and then I have to start focusing on defeating insomnia again. Then everything comes back into focus. And that's just, my life has been the progressive realization that that is my experience of life. That is what I'm doing when I'm doing what I'm doing. Because sleep is primary, and I have always had poor sleep, and my self-awareness has always known that. And so whenever I have been self-aware, and as far as I have been self-aware, I have been aware of the fact that I need to improve my sleep or fix my underlying sleep problems. So, but again, sleep, like I said, sleep is breathing, is metabolism, and man is made in the image of God. And without a story, he cannot take action. And without action, he has no biochemical inertia. It's what biochemical inertia does, produces action. So, therefore, I am stuck as a mystical weapon meant by God to defeat the prime blockade of humans' self-realization. And I went to the World Sleep Summit, Sleep 2026, with not this staff, but different staff. And felt like Moses leading them out of the desert after 40 years of their wandering. Because I told people this, and they were very open. And there wasn't even anyone who claimed to be an insomnia expert to disagree with me or feel like I was treading on his turf or I'm the insomnia expert. There were no insomnia experts. I am the insomnia expert. I am the leading expert on insomnia on planet Earth, which makes me the lead expert on sleep on planet Earth. Because insomnia is the key to understanding sleep, which makes me the lead health expert on planet Earth. Because sleep is the key to understanding health. And there's no one else who could ever achieve that. Because you didn't have someone with no sleep function to study for 16 years. I did. This helps me understand myself, I guess. I was sitting down, laying down in the sun, and it dawned on me to make this video because I'm like, well, what does it mean to be a living weapon? I'm like, it means I was created with a purpose. That purpose being to kill insomnia. And what that means is without that purpose, I am incomprehensible even to myself. It's not pleasant. It's useful. It's not pleasant. But the transcendence of an unpleasant experience is a pleasant experience.